Coaches, Rick Stewart of All Access Coaching. I'm really excited to bring you this free video, and make sure you hit the subscribe and like button down below. It gives us valuable data as far as what coaches want. And also, if I can get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll start doing weekly YouTube clinics for free. And if you hit the like and subscribe button, you'll get notified when we upload new content. We're uploading 3 or 4 videos every week.
Coaches, this is an example of us running our naked boot off of a stretch action. Now, we can tie in different actions. That's not really important right now, but I want to go through our rules for our receivers. So the very first thing that we're going to do is we're going to communicate from the sidelines, and the quarterback's going to communicate that we're going to go fake, stretch left, boot right. So the very first thing is that's going to tell our offensive linemen we all want to down block in the direction that we call. So we want them to get off the ball with flat pads so that we can sell the run. The running back is going to fake stretch off the outside, and he's going to continue so that we can draw defenders down. Then to the side that we're booting to, the very first thing is, if our wide receiver is what we call in a normal alignment, he is going to run an 18-yard outside breaking comeback. If there's a receiver inside of him, so the inside receiver, he's going to run the flats. If he's running it from the slot, he runs what we call a whip. If he runs it from the tight end position or from a pro alignment, he's going to run pin, so he's going to block down, and then he's going to run to the flat. So those are the 2 receivers to the play side. From the backside, the inside receiver runs what we call an USM. Under Sam, over Mike, working to 10 yards and then flattening out. And then the backside receiver in a normal formation or normal alignment, he's going to run what we call a beeline post. A beeline post is a concept that I got from Andrew Coverdale, who he's going to make a beeline run, a straight beeline, so he's getting even with the box, and then he's going to stem his pattern upfield, and then he's going to work a post to the opposite hash. So as the quarterback comes off of his fake, he's going to snap his head around, and his intention is we are always going to start the read with throwing to the flats unless we have this receiver in a compressed formation that I'll get to in one of the other slides. So if we can throw the flats, we will. If we can't, that means that it's going to be squeezed from either the outside of it or behind. If it's being squeezed from the outside, we're going to throw the comeback. And if it's being squeezed from behind, he's going to throw the USA. The beeline post is usually a booth call from the sidelines. Now here is the exact same thing out of a little bit of a different alignment. So we're in a tight alignment on this side. We've compressed the Z receiver down. S is going to split the difference between the offensive tackle and the wide receiver. And now we've put a tight end or a Y slot in a tight end alignment on the backside. We're going to have the same fake, so we can dress this up and run it differently. But in this case, we're running stretch, and then we're going to boot back to the field. So it all starts with the linemen. They're all going to be down blocking in the direction that we call. Now the only difference is because he's in a compressed alignment, instead of running a comeback, he's going to run a corner route. All the other players are using the same rules. So instead of starting with the flats, because this comes open so quick, we're going to actually read this long to short. So we're going to read the corner first. If the corner isn't open, we're going to come down to the USM, and then we're going to finally finish with the flats. Coaches, now here's another example of the same play concept out of a trips formation. So I'm going to continue to talk about receiver rules, and you're going to see how there's consistency built in, and we're not doing different things on different plays. So we're going to fake stretch left, boot right. Now, starting on the play side, because this wide receiver is in a normal alignment, he's going to run a comeback. Our inside receiver, he runs the whip. The middle receiver, we just run a clear out. Now on the back side, X, instead of running the beeline post, he runs the USM or the drag. And the reason that he does that is because there's no number 2 player inside. So we give up the beeline post to give us something that's going to be a little more involved in the pass concept. As the quarterback comes off, off the fake, he snaps his head around. Our intent is we'd like to go to the flats first, and then we're going to progression read based on how the defense is squeezing it. If they're squeezing it from the outside, we throw the comeback. If they're squeezing it from over the top, we throw the USM. This route here is something that we very rarely call. It's just to take the top off the coverage. Coaches, now we're going to go and we're going to apply our rules using another alignment in our offense. So we would call this King Vegas flip alignment. That just tells the offense that Y is going to come into the backfield as a hybrid, more like a fullback. So we're going to go fake stretch left, boot right. Z receiver is going to run his comeback because he's in normal alignment. Let's say we compress these two players. Now Z's other rule, he's running 1 to 2 patterns. When he's compressed, he runs a corner. When he's in a normal alignment, he runs a comeback. S knows that we're going to get a player who's in the backfield. If there's 2 players in the backfield, one of them are always going to go to the play side flats. So because he's in kink, he's going to go to the play side flats. He actually now becomes number 2, so he becomes running the clear. And then on the back side, X is always going to run 1 of 2 patterns from the backside. He's either going to run the beeline post if he's got a player inside of him, and if he has no player inside of him, he runs the USO. So again, as the quarterback comes off the fake, we're going to throw the flats. If we can't throw the flats, they're squeezed from the outside, we throw the comeback. If he squeezed from over the top, we're going to throw the USO. Now we're in an alignment with king again, but we're in trips away, and we're going to actually bootleg away from trips to our single receiver. So on our single receiver side, we've used an alignment that cuts down the splits of the single receiver. Now his only option, because we're booting to his side, he runs a corner. Remember, I told you that anytime we have 2 players in the backfield, the player that's not getting the fake, he's going to actually wind up going to the play side flats. And now X, because he's got a player inside of him, he's back to running his beeline post, and then number 2 runs the USO. The read stays the same. Remember, we said that anytime we have a compressed receiver that's running the corner, the read will start out with that corner. So the quarterback's going to read it high to low. He's going to come off the corner to the USO, to the flats on that side, and then the beeline post would be something that we call in the booth. One of the reasons that we would call this is if we saw this safety continually coming down as he got influenced by the USO route, and then that's going to give a single coverage up at the top, and we're just going to throw him open to the other hash. Coaches, now here's another formation where we're actually doing pretty much the same thing as we did on the other slide, with the exception of the Z receiver isn't compressed, and now instead of Y in the backfield running the sneak or the backdoor route out into the flats, it becomes S. So we are in a cluster formation, which is a 3 receiver bunch, but we're compressed down. We're going to fake to that side, and as we fake stretch to that side, S is going to come from behind the line of scrimmage. All the rules stay the same. Z is in his normal alignment. He's going to run an 18-yard comeback. Remember, anytime there's 2 players in the backfield, the player that's not getting the fake, he's going to come behind and he's going to go to the play side flats. And then we have a number 2 away. He's going to run the USO, and number 1 is going to run the beeline post. His landmarks change a little bit because he's tighter to the formation. The read stays the same. So we have the flats, and depending on how he's squeezed would determine where we're going to go to next in the progression. Coaches, here's an example of us in 2x2 running the boot. So we're going to run naked, fake into the boundary, and boot back to the field. Okay, now we dress it up a little different. We just give it a little bit of a zone read action, and then the quarterback, he's going to bootleg to the field. So we're going to run a beeline post. Okay, we're going to run an USO under Sam over Mike. We're going to run the whip, and then the number 1 receiver, he's going to run a late breaking or a deep comeback. So our read is going to start off with trying to get the ball out to the flats. As you can see, he winds up getting squeezed from inside to behind, so the next guy in the progression should be the receiver coming across on the USO. Going to take a look at it one more time. So we're faking zone right, boot left.
Coaches, I really hope you got some great information from that YouTube video. Again, hit the subscribe and like button down below. It gives us valuable data. And if I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll do free YouTube clinics. And you also get notified when I'm doing those YouTube clinics and when I upload new content to this channel. Thanks for watching, coaches.